Welcome back into Saturday, July 29th, and the MLB are 6. Yes, you heard that right. 6 favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Technically a profitable day, a 1-in-1 day. Let's talk about it. Mickey Moniak and Freddie Freeman come up clutch with the hit parlay, which was plus money. And then, Logan, I don't even want to talk about your Mariners Diamondbacks over 9. It looked great. You had 4 runs in the top of the first, and then absolutely nothing for basically the rest of the game. The end was 7, but maybe you'll be back on it today trying to run it back. But if that, we did give out our 2 home run plays and we went 1 for 1. So Logan, you made up for it with Austin Riley, who's just been cracked for us recently. He hit a homer. So as always, like we say, if one of them hits a homer, we're giving away $100 to someone that hits that subscribe button, drops a comment down below. And the winner was Gabe Acosta, 9411. We reached out to him in his comment, and hey, maybe that could be you if either of our guys hit a homer today, which we will talk about all the way at the end of the video after our 6 favorite picks. Now, I have one final note, Logan. This is something that's cool for both of us. We announced it a couple weeks ago on Twitter, about a week or 2 ago, but Logan and I actually going to a bunch of cities and going to some games with you guys. Hopefully, we're going to, so next Friday, if you live in Philadelphia, we're going to the Phillies game on Friday. Then we're going to New York City for Saturday, and then in Baltimore on Sunday for those respective games. So August 4th through August 6th, we'll be at those games. If you want to check out exactly all the details, I'll talk about them more, but I'm trying to do some meet and greets. We had a really cool meet and greet a couple months ago back in February in Philadelphia at Xfinity Live, so we'll probably be back there on Friday. We'll let you guys know as the time comes closer. Definitely you'll know all the details by the time next Friday when we're officially in those places. But Logan, we got 6 plays. We got to go quick. What's your first one going to be? I heard you're going back to the scene of the crime.
Well, I'll do that one last, but I'm gonna do first 5 total. First off, I'm going to the Angels versus Blue Jays, and I'm taking the under 5.5 in the first 5 innings in this one. This is an earlier start, so that's why I want to talk about this one first. Get this one placed. It starts at 3 o'clock Eastern time. The over 4.5 is the FanDuel quick hit of the day, in which they're promoting a minus 165 pick. Look, Austin and I have had directly faded picks like this most of the year. Sometimes we tell you guys when we do it, sometimes we don't. I'm telling you right now, I'm fading that because why would they need to promote a minus 165 pick? Yesterday, there were 3 runs scored through the first 5. I could see something similar today. Manoah starts for the Jays, 6.1 ERA and a 1.8 whip. You look at Manoah, and yes, he's been an up and down pitcher for most of the year. The walks are back for Manoah, which is a little bit, concerning in his last 2 starts. But if there's a team to strand base runners early in these games, and especially with runners in scoring position, it's the Angels. Outside of Mickey Moniak and Shohei Ohtani, I have to live with damage being done by Tice, Cabbage, and Rengifo. Like, I just do. And we saw Matt Chapman yesterday get mad in the dugout because they're like, why would you pitch to Ohtani when you can make the other bums have to beat you? I think that's kind of what we see from Alek Manoah today. Be careful around a guy like Ohtani and even Moniak, but you can attack Rengifo, Cabbage, and et cetera, right? Who's starting for the Angels today? It's Reed Detmers. 4.42 ERA and a 1.42 whip. Look at Reed Detmers, 2-4 and 7 earned runs in his last 3 starts. So, a good start, a bad start, and a mediocre start for Reed Detmers. That's kind of the pitcher he is all the time this year. He had 4 earned runs, 5 innings pitched to the Blue Jays back in April. Toronto is hitting well versus lefties, 312 versus lefties, but I'm telling you right now, this Blue Jays offense never really scares me. They squander runners in scoring position all the time. I've seen it because I backed them enough. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, I challenge you to disagree with me. They're so good at stranding base runners. So I actually think Reed Detmers can pitch well enough in this one. I think both these 2 starting pitchers can pitch well enough to keep us under 5.5. That's a huge number, and I'm going with the under in that one. But Austin, what do you got for us?
Logan, I love the play. Sorry, I teed you up for the wrong one, but like we've talked about, that number getting at 5 and being an under is big. We always see a lot of games end with 5 on the dot after 5 innings. But I'm going to go to a guy that you just talked about, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Look, we're going to Mickey Moniak and Freddie Freeman, each to record a hit, which is plus 116 on Bet365. And while I'm still going to root for Logan's under 5.5, hopefully Mickey Moniak's not hitting a homer. If we could just get a single out of him, or heck, if he wants to save it for after the first 5, fine with me. But for the same people that might be on DraftKings, because if you're on FanDuel, you can tail this identical. You just get worse value. If you're on DraftKings, you can easily tail Moniak to get a hit without throwing another leg in that game. But it could also, if you had to go to Freddie Freeman to get him a hit, you need a same game parlay. I would just add something like the Dodgers plus 5.5. I don't see the Dodgers losing by 6+ runs. Heck, I think they probably win tonight. But let's talk about Moniak. And like I said, we did this identical play yesterday, and it easily hit Mickey Moniak on an 18-game hit streak. He's hitting 368 during that time span. He's hitting 363 on the season versus right-handed pitchers. And like Logan said, he's going up against Alek Manoah. Now, as Logan touched on, Manoah, the walks are a problem for him. But a favorite thing about Moniak, this guy does not walk. He only has 3 walks and 76 at-bats, only a 3.1% walk percentage on the year, which is like a half, less than half what the normal MLB player is. And you look at Manoah, sure, he's going to walk some guys, probably not going to be Moniak. He's allowing a 270 batting average, 2 lefties. And then you look at the pitches, Manoah's going to throw a lot of four-seam, slider, changeup, sinkers. Those are all pitches that he hits pretty well, Moniak, that is. So, look, I don't think Moniak hits a slider too well, but still, there's plenty of other pitches that Manoah is going to throw. And even though I really do like the under that Logan's betting on, I still think that Moniak can deliver. Moniak delivered in the first 5 yesterday, and this game still soared under the 5.5. But let's go on. Once Moniak gets it done, we're going to probably have to wait a couple hours for Freddie to go off. But Freddie, we've already talked about him before, one of the best hitters in the league, getting 329 on the year, batting 335 versus right-handed pitchers. He'll face Luke Weaver, a righty today. Doesn't have the best numbers against Luke Weaver, 4 for 14. Still pretty solid, like 286 average. But Freddie has a hit in 22 of his last 26 games. He also could be a high walk guy, but you look at Weaver's walk percentage, not too high. So I don't necessarily think Weaver's going to walk Freddie. It could happen. We saw Freddie get walked in his first at-bat yesterday, and it didn't matter. You look at Weaver, he throws a lot of 50% four-seam fastball, 22% changeup, 17% curveball. Those are basically all that Freddie's going to see. You look at Freddie splits, 379 versus the four-seamer, 431 versus the cutter, and 277 versus the slider. So look, if Mickey and Freddie come through today, I'll let a spoiler know. Probably we'll be back on it tomorrow, but I'm really confident both these two guys can get it done. Obviously, both have been really Mickey's scorching hot. Freddie's been one of the most consistent hitters all year long. Do your jobs, fellas. Each get a hit. I'm relying on you. Logan, what's your next play going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to an underdog money line in this one. I'm taking the Nationals on the money line, plus 150 odds on DraftKings is currently your best value. Look, I love backing underdogs. I see value in the Nationals today as an underdog. Yesterday, I saw value in the Royals. They won outright. I know. Yep, it was a lean, so naturally it can hit when it's a lean, not an official pick. But I see the Nationals today as being a thorn in the Mets side. Got Cookie Carrasco starting. Yes, Carlos Carrasco. They call him Cookie. 5.82 ERA and a 1.57 whip for Carrasco on the year. He's been tossing cookies. Like, for real. Look at his last 2 starts. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. I mean, I don't know how you back a guy like that. You just simply have to fade Carlos Carrasco. He gave up 10 and 6 hits in those last 2 starts. The Nationals are a team that rarely hit for power. I mean, they get their home runs every now and then, but they score. The way the Nationals score is when they get those big innings via consecutive hits, right? We call it the hit parade. And I think Carrasco is definitely capable of that. Look at Carrasco. He's allowing a 350 batting average against this Nationals roster. So, I mean, what more do you need to see to convince yourself that the Nationals should be able to hit him on paper today? Nationals 9th in batting average, 13th in OPS in July. And after scoring 0 and 1 runs in the first 2 games of the series, they're sitting on some run opportunities today for that offense. I just think they've been bad for 2 consecutive games. It's kind of the law of averages thing in baseball. You just kind of have to be a game ahead on the trend in that one. Now, who's starting for the Nationals today is Patrick Corbin, 5.01 ERA and a 1.55 whip for Patrick Corbin. Yeah, I know. Patrick Corbin isn't a guy you necessarily wake up and run to the window to back. But the Mets are only hitting 202 versus lefties this month, and I have no problem fading the Mets offense and taking a chance on a Corbin masterclass at like plus 150 odds. I mean, come on, that's definitely worth a chance to me. Corbin already went 6 innings pitched and only allowed 2 earned runs back in May. The Nationals ended up winning that game, so he's already got a decent start under his belt against this Mets team this year. Look at the last 7 days. Mets 10th in bullpen ERA, Nationals 21st. Obviously, the Mets have a little bit of a decisive edge on bullpen there, but the Mets did just trade their best bullpen arm in Robertson. I think Washington's bullpen can be good enough to give us a chance. I see this being a close game, and the Nationals at plus 150. That's a price I just don't really think I can turn down today. So I'll take them as a shot on the underdog money line. Austin, what else you got?
I got another hit parlay. Look, we did really well in these early on in the season. Then I kind of threw them to the side, but they worked yesterday, and I'm going to a guy that's on my jersey. All right, I got a lie. This ain't his jersey, but he is a Cub. We're going to Cody Bellinger and Julio Rodriguez, each to record a hit. The same value as the first one, plus 116 on Bet365. And I'll say it once, and I'll say it again. I don't want to hammer it too hard into you guys' head, but if you live in New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Colorado, or Iowa, and you live in one of those states, you should strongly consider getting Bet365. They give you the best odds on these hit parlays by a long shot. You're going to like FanDuel, you're getting like minus 125 on these. So if you're in one of those states, definitely take advantage of that. We also have a sign-up bonus. Coincidentally, like, you don't have to use our sign-up bonus if you don't want to, but you get $200 worth of bonus bets. All the details are down below in the description. I'll put them up on the screen real quick. But like I said, you get that. But the best thing is you get all these hit parlay best odds. So take advantage of it. Like I said, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Colorado, and Iowa. But let's talk about why I like these two guys to get a hit. We'll start with Cody Bellinger. This is technically an E.5 jersey, but today it will be a Bellinger jersey because he's had a hit in 22 of his last 25. He's scorching hot, hitting 427 in July. He's going to face Adam Wainwright, who he doesn't have the best splits against. He is 3 for 16 against Waino, but Waino is allowing a 387 batting average to lefties. Bellinger is a lefty, and the best part, just similar to Moniak, Bellinger not really a high walk guy, only like a 6% on the year. Waino is capable of walking some guys, probably does walk some guys here today, but the fact that he's not drawing a ton of walks is fine for us. Like I said, I don't pay Bellinger to go out there and get walks, but always a concern with a guy like Freddie Freeman because he could walk 3 times. If you had Aaron Judge to get a hit yesterday, he got walked 3 times. But a guy like Bellinger, I don't see that happening too much. The Cubs have been a great offense. I don't really think you want to intentionally walk a guy like Bellinger. And the best part, you look at the pitches Waino's going to throw. He throws a bunch of different pitches, not a lot of them well, but 24% sinker, 22% cutter, changeup, 4-seam. Look, I have all the splits on the screen. You can see Bellinger's hitting really well against all these pitches, hitting like 424 against the changeup, 351 against the sinker. You see all the splits on the screen. He's doing really well, and I think he continues to do well today and get us a hit. Now, next up is going to be Julio Rodriguez. And look, Julio Rodriguez, normally not a guy normally back for hit parlays, but he's been scorching out. I'm going to keep riding with him. He's batting 252 on the season. Not the best, not the worst average, but on a 6-game hit streak, hitting 370 over these last 6 games. Going to face Brandon Pfaadt for the Diamondbacks, and he's allowing a 290 batting average to righties this season. Julio, also a guy that I like to take because he does have elite sprint speed. If you maybe hit some terrible weak ground ball, he can beat that out and get you an infield single, which you always want a chance in. You look at the pitches he's going to see: 37% 4-seam, 29% sinker, 29% sweeper. Look at Julio's expected batting average versus those pitches: 261 versus the 4-seamer, 309 versus the sinker, and 294 versus the sweeper. I mean, this is the guy in Julio Rodriguez that's heating up at the right time for a hotter than normal Mariners offense. And I think Julio is probably going to bat in the 2 spot on the road. Should see at least 4 plate appearances, probably 5, depending on how far, how much damage the Mariners rest of their offense does. But like, I love Julio today, love his matchup, love Cody Bellinger as well. It's plus 116 each to record a hit. These are both 2 later on in the game. So maybe if you missed the Mickey Moniak and you maybe are watching the video after Mickey's already gone off, you can maybe parlay the other 3 together: Cody, Julio, and Freddie. You probably get a really good payout. So Cody and Julio, we're counting on you. Logan, what's your third and final play going to be?
Yeah, this is the scene of the crime pick you touched on earlier. I'm going back to the Mariners versus Diamondbacks game, and I'm taking the over 9, minus 114 odds on FanDuel. I'm going back to the scene of the crime, attempting what Austin and I've talked about all year, the whole day early theory, run back the loss strat that we always talk about doing and never do, and then we just kind of laugh about how we were a day early on it. The pitching today is worse than the pitching yesterday, so that's kind of why I am willing to run it back in this one. And as Austin mentioned, Brandon Pfaadt starts for the Diamondbacks, 8.81 ERA and a 1.64 WHIP. I mean, that's just, those numbers are screaming, picking over. And I mean, look at his last start. Allowed 3 homers in his last start. I mean, that's, what more do you need? He faces a hot Mariners offense. Seattle's hitting 278 in their last 3 games, 277 against righties. I would have liked to see the Mariners maybe consistently score yesterday rather than just 4 in the first inning and say, oh, I'm kind of done scoring. I mean, that's tough. That's my picks in a nutshell this year, though, right? I get teased with a good start, and then the wheels fall off, and it makes me go to bed angry. But I think the Mariners offense should get some hits and runs up on him. Brian Wu starts for the Mariners, 4.91 ERA and a 1.2 WHIP. Everyone loves Wu and his strikeouts, but he's coming off a couple of not so great starts, got 4 and 6 earned runs in his last 2 starts. I mean, those numbers are just kind of a little bit concerning. Maybe Wu is having some command control issues. And you look at Wu also, he allowed 2 homers in each of his last 2 starts. Again, missed locations. Against this Diamondbacks team, Arizona was 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, 11 left on base. Yep, sounds about right. I pick an over, and they just don't know how to hit with runners in scoring position. I expect those opportunities to come once again today, and hopefully the Arizona Diamondbacks are able to give us some more offensive production. If they give us anything yesterday, we likely do push that bet, but you know what? I'll take my chances again today. Look at Arizona on the season, 7th in hits, 9th in runs, 3rd in strikeouts. This is pretty much a top 10 offense. They didn't play like it last night, coincidentally. I expect them to be able to, get some hits and runs up on them today. Over the last 7 days, too, Seattle 7th in bullpen ERA, Diamondbacks 27th in bullpen ERA. There should be run opportunities late in this one. I am very confident in that. So I will go ahead and take the over 9 as my third and final play. But Austin, what do you got for us?
Yeah, before we get into our home run selections, I'm going to go to, and you notice the card that I've kind of done. My 3 favorite plays are all plays that I feel like I've done pretty well on this season, and it's going to go to a first 5 same game parlay. And we're going to go back to a game we kind of already talked about. It's going to be the Cubs game. I'm taking the Cubs plus 2.5 and the over 3.5 runs in the first 5. This is a same game parlay. You go into the first 5 innings tab, and you can find these alternate run lines and total run lines on there. So that's minus 121 on FanDuel. Now, I know there's going to be a bunch of questions, Austin. I don't have FanDuel. What's the pivot? Now, I don't mind Cubs plus 1.5. Some books don't have the 2.5. I'd take it at plus 1.5. Although you rather have that 2.5 if you can get it. Now, my favorite pivot, I'd only play this for a half unit. Will probably be the full first 5 over 5.5. I think there's some runs coming in this game, and I think there's going to be plenty of runs. But let's talk about why I like this one. Obviously, I would only play that for a half unit. Playing this one for a full unit. Let's talk about who's going to start for the Cardinals. We already talked about Wainwright, and sure, he returned from injury. I don't necessarily know if he was too injured. They probably just threw him on the IL just to have him go work on some things. He came back and he pitched decently. I mean, he went out there against the Diamondbacks, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and 2 walks. Is that an anomaly, or are we going to see Waino kind of start to dial it back in? I have to see it to believe it. It's like Logan talked about, this Diamondbacks offense who stunk it up yesterday, just been not one that's been too consistent. This has been a great Cubs offense. You look at the last time that Waino faced this Cubs offense, went 3 innings pitched, 11 hits, and 7 earned runs. Like, if he wants to duplicate that performance, I'd say we're in a pretty good spot to cash this one. Waino still 7.31 ERA. His expected ERA is higher than that, 7.74, the 1.92 whip. Sure, Waino can come out here and pitch better. He could actually give up 2 earned runs only, and we still have a pretty good spot to cash this one. I need Tyone, who's going to pitch for the Cubs, to pitch a little bit better. But you look at over the last 2 weeks, as the Cubs offense hitting pretty well, hitting 342 with a 945 or 965 OPS versus right-handed pitchers, both number 1 in the major. Also with a 10.6% walk percentage and 6th in the major. So they're not just swinging and hoping to hit the ball, still walking and getting on base, high on base percentage. And for a guy like Waino, who's struggling to miss bats, unless he can get some double plays in there, this Cubs offense could be in for another good day. Obviously, you got a lower scoring game yesterday. You had that, ridiculous robbery of a home run, which probably would have walked it off for the Cardinals. And I'm not saying that the Cubs are a great money line pick today. I actually could see the Cardinals winning, but I think this is a closer game, and I think that we can see this cover here. But like I said, Jameson Tyone will start for the Cubs, 5.75 ERA and a 1.4 whip. Actually coming off a good start, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, and 1 earned run against the Cardinals. So getting them back-to-back starts. I actually think this is a rocky start for Tyone coming. I just don't need him to give up, 6 earned runs, which is why I'm on the over 3.5 in the first 5. I could see Tyone giving up at least 2, maybe even 3 or 4, and we can afford, 4 earned runs. It's when you get to that 5, 6, 7 earned run type start, which really puts us in a tough spot to cash. But still think at the end of the day, he'll give up some runs. So will Waino, and I think this is a close game through 5. And then the bullpens will decide it. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals win this one at the end of the day. But I think this one's a really good look. We did really well in these first 5 same game parlays. Hit our first 5 or 6, missed 1 or 2 in a row, and now they're back. I like it. Cubs plus 2.5 in the over 3.5 alternate lines. First 5 same game parlay minus 121 on FanDuel. But Logan, probably what people have skipped to, it's our home run picks, and we're giving away $100 if either of these 2 guys hits a homer. And I'll lead this one off. We'll at least save you for a second because you've been dialed in on the homers. And I'm going to go to a guy that I actually can almost consider his teammate, and hopefully it's not his teammate that hits a homer, because I'm going to JD Martinez of the Dodgers, currently plus 330 on PointsBet. Now, I considered Mookie Betts, that's his teammate, because everyone was on Mookie yesterday for Mookie Friday. Wouldn't surprise me if Mookie hits a homer today, but he just hasn't been having, the home run luck in the past couple weeks. So I'd rather go to a guy named JD Martinez. 25 homers on the year. I believe 21 of them have come versus right-handed pitchers. Luke Weaver is a righty, struggles to miss bats. And JD Martinez, if there's a kryptonite for him, it's sometimes striking out, but when he hits for power, and he's been doing really well. It's easier to hit a home run in a very hitter-friendly ballpark like Dodger Stadium. So JD Martinez, my pick, plus 330. Go get it done. Let's give away some money to the people. But Logan, who are you riding with? I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah, I'm running it back. No surprise. I'm taking Austin Riley of the Braves, plus 350 odds on FanDuel, currently your best value. I know. I can't hit straight bets, but when it comes to homers, I get lucky on those. I don't know what it is, but Austin Riley, I've mentioned this before, the Braves are just a ridiculous team at hitting home runs at home. It's just, are they cheating? I asked this yesterday. I don't know. It was a joke, but really, the Braves are a great matchup today, against Julio Teheran. If you want to take any of the Braves guys to hit home runs, I fully support that. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Austin Riley's made us some money on these homer plays, so hopefully he can give the people what they want today again.
Yeah, well, that's going to wrap up the video. Almost 20 minutes long. We appreciate for everyone that has sat through the whole thing. 6 picks, 2 home run picks. Let's have a big day, Logan. I'm feeling good about the slate. Let's have a big one. Let's have a bunch of plus money plays in there. Let's have a profitable day. Have a great Saturday. We'll see you guys back tomorrow for some more picks, and we'll give you more details on, when Logan and I are going to the Philly, New York City, and Baltimore for those games. And hopefully we get to meet you guys. We'll do some meet and greets and stuff if you guys want to meet us, which would be really cool because we love to meet you guys in person. But Logan, it's going to be a great day, great Saturday. We'll see you guys back on Sunday, hopefully with the brooms out. If we have the brooms out, Logan, I don't know what I'm going to do, but 6-0 day would be electric. We are absolutely due. Let's have one. Let's have a day. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. Peace.